Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and thank you for stopping by. If you are new here, we welcome you to the channel, and I hope you find some information in this video valuable. So we have the FDIC, the OCC, the Federal Reserve, all coming together for new rules and regulations. And what am I talking about? We'll hang out. We'll discuss that here in a second. Then also you have Brad Garlinghouse, CME Group, talking about derivatives, futures, so much more to cover on that. Then at the end of it, we're going to talk about the U.S. banks hitting a death cross that we have not seen since March 2023, and you will usually see a bullish market come from that. Stick around and we'll discuss that as well. So if you look over here on the Federal Reserve webpage themselves, you have press release as of April 24th, 2025. Federal Reserve Board announces the withdrawal of guidance for banks related to the crypto assets and dollar token activities and related changes to its expectations for these activities. So this is going to be huge. The SEC, the Federal Reserve, the FDIC, the OCC, they're all stepping back. The FTC, they're all stepping back and saying, hey guys, green light, take it. Yes, there's going to be rules and regulations around that, but they're still forming that. We'll talk about a little bit more about that here in a second. But down here, I found it kind of interesting that it says, finally, the board together with the FDIC and the OCC in withdrawing from the two 2023 statements jointly issued by the federal bank regulatory agencies regarding banks, crypto asset activities, and exposure. The board will work with the agencies to consider whether additional guidance to support innovation, including crypto asset activities, is appropriate. So they're telling you right there, they're trying to figure out, is it their place or is it not their place? If you look at the bigger picture here, there is a major battle pushing the old system out and in with the new system. And with that, of course, you're going to have friction. And I think we are seeing that friction, which is to be expected, right? So there's a big shakeup happening in our financial system that I don't think enough people understand how massive this is. And if you're here, if you're paying attention, you're paying attention to something that is transformative that generations to come is going to talk about. Just as we talk about the Great Depression, the World War II, all these things back in the day, we're seeing all that happening in real time right now. So if you're paying attention, you're actually appreciating what's going on around you. You are a part of this movement, which I think is really awesome and it's massive. So let's keep on going off of my little soapbox here. Let's keep going. Look at Brad Garlinghouse on his X. He posted, said, while overdue in a bunch of ways, this is an incredibly important and exciting step in continued growth for the XRP market. Starting May 19th, this is from the CME Group now, CME Group stating that starting May 19th, keep that date in mind, trade regulated capital efficient futures on XRP available in larger and micro size contracts. So you can scale your exposure with greater precision and flexibility. Okay, for those that don't know who CME Group is the world's leading exchange for derivatives. They are a massive player, and I don't think they get enough attention for what they do. They actually just released their Q1 2025 revenue report, which we'll cover here just in a second. But I just talked about the XRP futures. You're going to have the micro and large. So what is that going to look like? So right over here, if you take a look, you'll see the new product will allow clients to trade contracts of 2,500 XRP all the way up to 50,000 XRP. Now, if you are a person that likes to play in these derivatives, plays in futures and leverage and all this, more power to you. That's not me personally, but there's an opportunity for people to make some massive money should you take that risk. But with that being said, also, you also have a lot more money flowing into this market now that they have these XRP futures available as of March 19th. And again, anytime there's big news, there's going to be some kind of major volatility in the market. You're going to have people trying to, scare people off. All these whales are going to dump their stock and buy it all back up. It's just how the game goes. Again, if you are aware of what's going on, that's not going to surprise you because you're watching this channel and you know that's going to happen, right? So if you do like what you're seeing in here, please consider liking and subscribing. Doing the like down there for people that return into videos. If you could just hit that like button, that helps me push this video out so much more and helps build this channel. And I really would appreciate it. My goal right now is to get to 500 subscribers. I'm at 200 or so right now. So if I can get to 500 with your help, I would love it. And I appreciate you guys for that. So talking about the CME Group, they had their revenue report come out. So this is from CME directly. You have CME Group Inc. reports all-time record revenue, adjusted operating income, adjusted net income, and adjusted earnings per share for Q1 2025. This report did come out on April 23rd, 2025. I'm going to circle back to that date because it ties into what I said about my last video. We'll come back to that. You have a record revenue of 1.6 billion, up 10% from Q1 2024. So you had the CME Group having this major 10% spike right before, the day before, or at least, the announcement before Ripple comes out with CME and their futures, right? But let's keep on going. It says record ADV of 29.8 million contracts with broad-based growth in every asset class. Record average daily volume, 29.8 million. So CME Group is huge. They move so many contracts around. That's why this is massive. It's going to bring a lot of eyes to XRP, to Ripple, to crypto. You're going to start having people from Wall Street, your everyday retail person like you or myself, that are maybe not into crypto is going to perk their ears up a little bit more, and they're going to start spreading the word. You're going to see this flood come in, just as we've seen in the .com crashes, right? But with that being said, I wanted to more or less point out that April 23rd, they released this information from CME Group. April 24th, you have the Federal Reserve announcing that they're not going to look for guidance and all that anymore when it comes to banks and crypto. So 23rd, 24th, and then right here from Brad Garlinghouse and from CME Group, you have them announcing their XRP futures. Like I said in my last video, you always will see, or you typically will see, Ripple coincidentally making big announcements after something just happens with the SEC, OCC, what have you, any kind of governmental body that comes out with some major news. Ripple has some major news right behind it. It's no coincidence, guys. This is a game. If you're paying attention, you're going to win the game. And that's why I always state, please make sure you're researching, you know what you're doing in the market, you understand why you're investing in these companies, because you can and will get wrecked out there if you're not careful. So I talked also about the U.S. banks hitting a death cross. So if you look right over here, this is from Nick. He's on X. He's on YouTube as well if you want to check him out. Phenomenal source, stellar guy. This is his page right over here, but he did post yesterday. Believe it or not, if history repeats, this will be extremely bullish for crypto. And this is from Bar Chart. It says breaking U.S. banks. U.S. banks just formed a death cross for the first time since March 2023. So as we expand the chart, you can see right over here is your death cross from April 2023 and now April 2025. So if you're thinking about it, you're like, hey, that's great, but what does that mean for us? You're saying it's going to be bullish. Why do you think that? Well, I went over here and I pulled XRP on TradingView, and I pulled it from those same date as far as April, from March, April 2023, and then to July when you saw the spike. So check it out over here. This is from TradingView. So this is about where the death cross happened. And as you see, as quarters go by, don't forget, people move in quarters. These business people that move around, they don't do day to day, week to week. They're more quarterly, yearly, and so on. So as you look at it, you have this 3-month span. It's kind of chopping a little bit. Then out of nowhere, you see it jump up. If you look at it, it's actually about a 121% jump. You went from 37 cents all the way up to about 82 cents in a short amount of time that coincidentally fell right behind that death cross. So that's kind of what we should be expecting. Again, this is not financial advice, guys. Do not take this as financial advice. Always do your own research and always do your own research with your advisor or whatever you have. But that's what we might likely see. And then you start seeing this with, think about it, you have Ripple and all their announcements. We have the SEC finishing up their roundtables as of June 6th. You have June 10th through the 12th. You have Ripple's Apex, or really it's XRPL Commons Apex, happening in Singapore from the 10th to the 12th. Paul Atkins is in place. We have the Federal Reserve talking about, hey, we no longer need to give you any kind of guidance. We're stepping back. So many things are happening right now in real time, and people want to go, oh, hey, how come we didn't see it just happen today? It's not going to happen just today. You won't release something and something happen crazy and shoot you up $5 from the $2. That doesn't happen that way. You have to get your mind thinking like a business person or somebody like a BlackRock that moves very slow and methodically. They like to watch the market, get the information, understand it, digest it, and then they start putting that system in place. That digestion could be 3 months, 6 months, and then they start putting that into place. And then that movement from that point still can be another 6 months, a year, 2 years away. So that's why I'm trying to say this is more like a 2030 plan in this whole space. Yes, you're going to make some quick money here and there in these bull cycles. That's going to happen. But these big movements aren't going to happen until later, until it's fully adopted and everybody's in on it. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, get in now, understand these companies that are coming around, get these projects that are still a cent, 2 cents, 5 cents in the cents range, start stacking, start accumulating now, because when BlackRock comes in, especially with this XRP, everybody's like, well, XRP, BlackRock, their ETFs, their spot ETF, is it coming or not? BlackRock is going to be that last stamp of approval that says, hey, this is going to happen. And once they do that, you're out of luck because they're done. You are now priced out. Just as we've seen with Ethereum, we saw with Bitcoin, they're going to do it with XRP, and that's in my opinion. And don't be one of those people that sold all your XRP because you didn't think it was going anywhere and you gave up. Understand the bigger picture that Ripple is providing with XRP, XRPL, ISO 20022, SWIFT. There is just so much going on with this asset itself that I think it would be foolish to give up so early. Right now, it's more about accumulating and stacking while you can. Sell high, buy low, pay attention to the market, pay attention to the news. Find yourself a great technical analyst that you trust, that has a good trend. I showed you Nick. He was a great source. If you don't know Rupert at All In Crypto, another great source. I have no affiliation with these guys. I just really respect what they do. So hopefully you found some information on this video valuable, like I said. And if you did, please at least hit the like button. I really would appreciate it. If you subscribed, I'd really appreciate that as well. It does go a long way. So hopefully you guys enjoy y'all's day, and we will see you on the next one.